All right, welcome in, everybody. Get ready, because we're diving deep into Arundhati Roy's The God of Small Things, specifically Chapter 10. We're going to unpack its symbolism and those big themes,
Yeah.
childhood imagination, family dynamics, and the importance of place.
Yeah, it's amazing how she uses the setting. A pickle factory, no less, called Paradise Pickles, to really, delve into these universal ideas.
Yeah, it's so much more than just a backdrop, the way she describes it. Dank and pickle-smelling premises. It's like you can almost smell the limes and mangoes and bitter gourds soaking in those giant cement vats.
It's like she's painting a picture. And it's not just the smells, it's the lighting, too. The dimness broken only by these little slivers of light filtering through the doors and this one sunbeam that Esta chooses not to use. That detail really sets the mood, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It creates this feeling of, quiet contemplation, which is perfect because we're introduced to Esta, one of the twin protagonists. Lost in thought, he finds a spot between a wall and a cauldron of cooling banana jam, and he just thinks,
And those thoughts are so, deceptively simple, but so profound. Anything can happen to anyone. Then there's this bee that she just leaves us hanging on. And finally, a boat. I feel like each one of these thoughts really reveals something about Esta's inner world.
yeah, I agree. Especially that boat thought. It just sticks with you, It makes you wonder. Why is that so significant to them? What do you think? Is he longing for something?
Well, the text suggests he sees it as an escape,
Huh.
a way to cross the river to the other side.
Uh-huh.
Akira. He even wants to pack provisions, matches, clothes, pots and pans, the whole 9 yards. It's as if he's anticipating a need to flee, or maybe even preparing for this big adventure.
Interesting, because it hints at a sense of unease, right? A feeling that things aren't quite right in his world. And then bursting onto the scene, we have Rahel, Esta's twin sister, such a contrast to Esta's serious nature.
Right. Roy really emphasizes this by describing Rahel wearing different colored finger guards.
Yeah.
It's small detail, but
Yeah.
it speaks volumes about her, vibrant, imaginative spirit.
Yeah.
It really highlights how different they are, even though they're twins.
And then Esta mentions this history house, which turns out to be the abandoned home of someone named Kari Saipu. Now, this is where things get really intriguing.
Yes. We get this local story from Velya Pabin about her encounter with Kari Saipu's ghost. And she pins it to a rubber tree with a sickle. And the ghost can only be released with a cigar, apparently.
It's so captivating, right? But there's this feeling that she might not be telling the whole story. What do you make of that?
I think Roy's deliberately leaving us with questions. What's the real truth about this guy?
Yeah.
What draws the twins to his abandoned house? It's all very mysterious and a little spooky.
Okay. Let's unpack this red agenda the twins keep mentioning. It sounds serious, but the way Reuben describes it's like, it feels like a playful, secret code they share.
Yeah, I think you're right. It really highlights their bond. And this shared determination to be prepared for anything. Rahil's going to pretend to sleep and sneak out to meet Esta by the river. It's like they're embarking on a secret mission, driven by their imaginations.
It's exciting, like we're being drawn into their world of adventure. And then they find it. The boat. Hidden under the mangosteen tree. Roy builds the suspense so well, describing it first as a moss-covered object, before revealing that it's a small wooden boat.
A vellum, to be precise.
Yeah.
It's old, almost rooted to the spot, symbolizing a connection to the past and the natural world.
It's clearly more than just an object,
Right.
but then disaster. The boat sinks, it's heartbreaking. Even though Roy describes it with a touch of humor, with the boat settling on the 6th step of the riverbank, and the twins' hearts sinking to the step above.
Of those fish laughing at their misfortune. It's classic Roy, finding humor in disappointment.
Yeah.
But the twins don't give up.
Mm.
They decide to take the boat to Velutha's brother, Kutapan,
Yeah.
who lives in a hut near the river.
This is where the story takes a turn. We're introduced to Kutapan, who is paralyzed. Roy's descriptions of his living conditions are so poignant. The objects from the I Met Him house in his room, the calendar Jesus with lipstick and rouge, and that plastic tube he uses for drinking.
These details are so powerful. They tell us so much about his life, his connection to the family, and the way he's been marginalized. It's a stark contrast to the world the twins inhabit, a world of imagination and possibility.
Yeah, and there's this moment where Kutapan asks about Sophie Mol, Chaco's daughter, and Rahel says she's too delicate to be seen. It's small, but I think it reveals a lot about their understanding of the social hierarchy.
You're right. It shows how even children perceive these differences,
Mm-hmm.
even if they don't fully understand them.
Right.
And then we have Kutapan giving the twins this warning
Oh,
about the river.
yeah. He describes it as this deceptive entity, pretending to be harmless, but actually this wild, rushing force. He even describes its diet, stew, pineapple slices, whiskey, brandy.
What an image.
Right.
It's a reminder that even familiar things can hold hidden dangers, and appearances can be deceiving.
Yeah.
And then Velutha enters the picture.
Velutha, Kutapin's brother, and a skilled carpenter. He's surprised to see the twins, and that marks his flag they've planted outside his hut. You can almost feel the tension in that moment, this clash between personal feelings and societal norms.
Absolutely. Velutha's clearly drawn to the twins.
Yeah.
But he's trying to suppress those feelings.
Right.
It foreshadows a lot of the complexities that are going to unfold.
Right. He's caught in a difficult position. But despite his reservations, he agrees to help them repair the boat. He even teaches them how to sandpaper it properly.
It's a gesture of kindness, but there's also this sense of reluctance, wouldn't you say?
I think so. It's like he's torn between his connection to them and the potential consequences of getting too close. And while they're working on the boat, the twins start singing this kind of vulgar song about a monkey man with a red bottom.
It's such a funny and unexpected moment. They're pretending to row the boat in Kutapin's hut, and their singing seems to temporarily drive away what Roy calls the orange drink, lemon drink man, which feels like a representation of fear or some unwelcome presence.
It definitely adds another layer to the story. And it's fascinating how Roy uses these seemingly simple actions and details to hint at something much deeper.
Exactly. It's like she's inviting us to read between the lines. And look for the hidden meanings.
Yeah. And just when you're getting swept up in their carefree joy, Rahel suddenly takes off, saying she has to go back for her nap. It's such a childlike, impulsive move, and it leaves Esta to continue working on the boat with Velutha.
That sudden shift in energy is so well done. It reminds us of the unpredictable nature of childhood, how quickly things can change.
It really does. And then the episode ends, or this part of it ends, with this image of the twins rowing the repaired boat, dreaming of a journey to Africa.
It's such a beautiful image, full of hope and possibility, but it also feels like tinged with a sense of foreboding, knowing that their journey won't be easy.
It makes you wonder how this experience, this journey they're on, will shape their futures.
Right. Roy does such a brilliant job of portraying this innocence of childhood alongside these hints of the harsh realities they'll face.
It's a potent mix.
It makes you really feel for these characters. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. Wonder what's going to happen next.
For sure.
And one thing that struck me is how the simple act of repairing this boat becomes a metaphor for something much larger.
Yeah. I see what you mean. It's not just about fixing a physical object. It's about their connection to Velutha, their sheer effort, and maybe even their desire to escape the confines of their world.
Exactly. It represents this yearning for something more. Something beyond the limitations imposed by their family and society. And, you know, when we think about the orange drink, lemon drink man that they sing about, it makes me wonder if that represents the fear and uncertainty that kind of hangs over them, threatening to disrupt their innocence.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about it that way before. It adds another layer of complexity to their desire for escape.
Yeah. And speaking of complexity, Velutha's internal conflict is really fascinating. He's so drawn to the twins. But he's also acutely aware of the societal boundaries that exist between them. He's a paravan. And they're from an upper caste family. It's a constant reminder of the rigid social hierarchy that shapes their world.
Yeah, Roy explores this tension with incredible nuance. We see it in the way Velutha reacts to the twins singing. They're belting out this silly song about a monkey man with a red bottom, and for a moment it brings a smile to his face. But that fleeting joy is quickly overshadowed by the weight of his responsibilities and his place in society.
It's heartbreaking in a way. He's so drawn to their innocence and their joy. But he knows he can't fully be a part of their world.
Right.
And then there's that poignant detail about how he tries to hate Amu, the twins' mother, but he can't. It really highlights the internal struggle he's facing. It's like he's battling against his own feelings, afraid of the consequences if he lets himself get too close.
Yeah, and the way Roy foreshadows the potential consequences of their connection adds another layer of suspense to the story.
You're absolutely right. She drops these subtle hints, like when she describes Velutha trying to suppress his feelings for Amu. It's like a storm brewing on the horizon. There's only a matter of time before it breaks.
That's one of the things I love about Roy's writing. She masterfully blends these moments of joy, and innocence, with this underlying sense of dread.
Yeah.
It keeps you completely engaged, wondering what's going to happen next.
And it's not just about the plot, it's about the characters' inner lives and the societal pressures they face through their stories. Roy explores these universal themes of class, caste, forbidden love.
Yeah.
It's a lot to pack into a single chapter.
Yeah.
But she does it so seamlessly.
She really does.
And it's all the more impressive.
Yeah.
Because she does it through the lens of childhood.
Right.
We see the world through the twins' eyes.
Right.
But we also understand the larger forces at play that are shaping their lives.
It's what makes this chapter and the book as a whole so compelling.
I couldn't agree more. And going back to that idea of the boat as a symbol, I think it's important to consider how it connects to the twins' relationship with Velutha.
Okay.
Their journey in the boat, even if it's just in their imaginations, represents a kind of shared escape.
That's a great observation. It's like they're creating this temporary world where societal boundaries don't exist, where they can just be themselves.
Right.
But we as readers know that this escape can't last forever.
Exactly. It's a fleeting moment of freedom and connection. And it makes the inevitable separation all the more heartbreaking.
And the way Roy foreshadows that separation is so masterful. She doesn't hit you over the head with it. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. Like, for example, when Rahel suddenly decides to go back for her nap, leaving Esta alone with Velutha, it almost feels like a premonition of their eventual parting.
I think you're onto something there. It's like Roy's hinting at. The fragility of their bond. The fact that it can be easily broken by the forces around them.
Right.
And that brings us back to Kutapin and his warning about the river. He describes it as this: deceptive force, pretending to be calm and gentle, but actually being wild and unpredictable. It makes you wonder if the river itself is a metaphor for the dangers that lie ahead for the twins.
That's a fascinating interpretation.
The river could represent the unpredictable nature of life, the way things can spiral out of control, even when they seem calm on the surface.
Right.
And, Kutapin's description of the river's diet, stew, pineapple slices, whiskey, brandy, adds another layer to this idea.
I'm curious, what do you make of that? Why do you think he describes the river in those terms?
I think it speaks to the river's power and its ability to consume everything in its path. It's almost as if the river has a taste for the things that bring people pleasure and comfort, but it also has a darker side.
Right. It's almost like the river represents both the beauty and the danger of the natural world.
Absolutely. And it's a reminder that even at a place as seemingly idyllic as the Eminem, there are forces at play that can disrupt the lives of those who live there.
And what about the History House? It's a place that's shrouded in mystery and intrigue. What do you think it represents in the larger context of the story?
I think it symbolizes the weight of the past, the way history can haunt the present, and the story of Kari Saipu's ghost adds another layer to this idea.
Right.
The ghost, trapped and unable to move on, could represent the unresolved traumas that continue to affect the characters.
Yeah, it's like they're all living in the shadow of these past events.
And the fact that the twins are drawn to the History House suggests that they're also seeking answers, trying to make sense of the world around them. It's as if they're drawn to the mysteries of the past, even though they might not fully understand them.
And that curiosity, that desire to uncover the truth, might ultimately lead them down a dangerous path. Roy is a master of foreshadowing, and I think she's subtly hinting at the risks involved in their quest for knowledge.
I agree. There's a sense of foreboding that hangs over the entire chapter, a feeling that something's about to go wrong.
It's like we're holding our breath, waiting for the inevitable to happen.
Yeah.
And that sense of anticipation is what makes Roy's writing so captivating. She keeps you guessing, she makes you think, and she leaves you wanting more.
It's a reminder that even in the most beautiful and seemingly innocent settings, there can be darkness lurking beneath the surface.
And what about that ending image? With the twins rowing the repaired boat, imagining a journey to Africa. It's such a powerful image to end on. What are your thoughts on that?
It's an image full of hope and possibility, representing their desire to escape the limitations of their world and embark on this grand adventure together.
But knowing what we know about the twins' future, the fact that they're eventually separated, adds a layer of melancholy to that image. Doesn't it make you wonder if their journey to Africa, even if it's just in their imaginations, is a kind of foreshadowing of their eventual separation?
I think it's possible. It could be a symbol of their yearning for a different life, a life where they can be free from the constraints of their family and society. But ultimately, that dream is shattered by the harsh realities of their world.
It's almost as if Roy is giving us this glimpse of their shared innocence and their bond. Before it's broken, it's both heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. And the fact that their journey is imagined, not real, makes it even more poignant. It highlights the power of their imagination to create a world where they can be truly free, even if it's only temporary.
And it speaks to the power of storytelling itself, how it allows us to escape into these other worlds, to experience things that might not be possible in our own lives. In a way, the twins' journey to Africa is a metaphor for the journey that we as readers take when we immerse ourselves in a book.
I love that idea. It reminds us that even though the twins' physical journey might be limited, their imaginations can take them anywhere. And it makes me think about the boat itself, how it becomes this powerful symbol throughout the chapter. It's more than just a means of transportation. It represents their dreams, their escape, their connection to each other, and perhaps even their connection to something larger than themselves.
I agree. It's fascinating how a simple object can take on so much meaning. And I think it's also significant that the boat is repaired with Velutha's help. It highlights the importance of their connection to him and the role he plays in their lives.
It's a reminder that even though Velutha is from a different social class, he's an integral part of their world, and his warning about the river adds another layer of complexity. To the boat's symbolism, it suggests that their journey might not be as smooth sailing as they imagine, that there might be hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface.
You're right. The river, with its deceptive calmness and its hidden depths, could be a metaphor for the challenges and uncertainties that lie ahead for the twins. It's a reminder that life is full of surprises and that even the most carefully laid plans can go awry.
Well, this has been such a rich and insightful conversation. I don't know about you, but I feel like I have a whole new understanding of this chapter and the deeper meanings that Roy is exploring.
I agree. It's amazing how much depth and complexity Roy manages to pack into a single chapter. And it's a testament to her skill as a writer, that she can do so in a way that's both engaging and thought-provoking.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a question. What stood out to you in this chapter? What do you think the boat ultimately symbolizes? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next Deep Dive.